Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Madam President Morning Show. We do this every single day, Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me play my theme song. All right, we can't go any further without playing that song. I really like it. Every time I hear it, it makes me happy. Before I go a step further, let me say a really quick prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for waking us up this morning. Thank you for allowing us to be on this side of the earth. We appreciate you. We love you. We ask for your continuous guidance and protection. Amen. All right, you know how it goes. There's a couple things that's brewing on the internet that I wanted to share with you all. I am from Chicago, born and raised. I do live in Atlanta. So I don't know where you're from, but if you can drop it in the chat, that would be good. Where are you from exactly? I am a Chicagoan who lives in ATL. So ATL, it is from Chicago. You know how it is when you really from the city, it's hard repping other places, So because I'm from Chicago and I know what it means to be from Chicago, I don't just go around talking about I'm from, I'm not from Atlanta. I live in Atlanta, okay? But I'm not from Atlanta. And you know how that goes. Good morning, Wayne. How you doing? So I just want you all to know that this is brought to you by flynubianmoney.com. I don't do this by myself. This is brought to you by flynubianmoney.com. You should text Queens to 87948 if you want to get your money up and get your mind up. That's first and foremost. Okay, Oklahoma City now in ATL. That's good. Oklahoma City is much different from ATL. How are you enjoying ATL on the Instagram side? I want you all to know that I'm going back and forth from YouTube and Instagram, so I don't get a chance to see the comments very quickly, but I will get to it. Good to see you, William. Happy Tuesday. This is one of my good people. I really appreciate your support. All right, let's jump right into it. I know that you saw recently that New Orleans had 11 men escape prison. 6 still remain on the run. The FBI is offering $20,000 for any tips leading to their arrest. Now, this isn't funny, but one guy got arrested because he went live with some friends. He got out of jail and went to some friends and went live, and he was arrested immediately after. I would like to call him one of the world's dumbest criminals, but I mean, hey, what can you do? What can you say? The pictures of the conditions of the jail was absolutely, it was atrocious. I hadn't seen anything. So, I mean, it's unlivable. And I know that prison or jail doesn't supposed to be rainbows and sunshine, but I mean, the conditions were very, very, very horrific. And I know that it's like, well, they're prisoners, but keep in mind, you have people that work in prisons. People work in prisons. Imagine those people have to work in those conditions. That doesn't feel well either. Well, let me just give you an update here. You know my motto, don't take my word for it when you can see it for yourself. So here it is right here. Just going to do a quick refresh so you can see it.
Fourth inmate has just been captured in New Orleans East, so one of 10 inmates who escaped OPSO on Friday.
We know that authorities had been looking. Here he is. Gary Price was captured in New Orleans East, we are told, in an abandoned home there. He's the second escapee who has been captured in New Orleans East. We know another was captured on Dale Street. The 4 inmates who have been taken back into custody, take a look at this map. They've all been captured in Orleans Parish. As I mentioned, one on Dale Street, one in the French Quarter, and of course the other in Central City. And now tonight, Gary Price also in New Orleans East.
Yeah, so that means 6 inmates still remain at large, and the Crime Stoppers reward, FBI reward, all combined total. Now there's a $20,000 reward being offered for any information that leads to an arrest. So please call FBI or Crime Stoppers if you have any information. A 4th inmate.
Can you see this? This is the 11 inmates running out of prison. This looks like an after-school bell.
It has just been captured.
Take a look. They're running. They're gone. 11 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Gone. What kind of system? And look what the person wrote behind. Innocent. Too easy. LOL. They literally left a note of too easy. They told the jail, this shit is too easy. Too easy. We out of here. Too easy. We up. We out. Too easy. Man, let me just tell you, this is so funny. He said too easy. Did you all ever watch the show Shawshank Redemption? Well, the movie Shawshank Redemption, it's very similar, except, you know, he was embezzling money. And when he got out of prison from his escape, he was far away, another name, you know, living the life. And he was a white man. So you know how that goes. All right, we're going to move right along. Just know that if you see those, you want $20,000. I don't know the cases of any of them, but you may be able to get you. This is another story that I found pretty interesting. A woman is being charged with manslaughter because she pulled the plug on her mother. Her mother was in the ICU. Her mother was in the ICU. She was dying, and she pulled the plug on her mother, and because she wanted her mother to supposedly, you know, die in peace, you know, without all the tubes and the support or whatever. But I'm going to read this to you really quickly. It says the Miami nurse arrested on manslaughter charges after taking out her mother's intubation tube in the ICU reportedly claimed she wanted her to die in peace, pulling out. So it says, she says, a long-time Miami nurse is now behind bars. So she is a nurse, which means that 9 times out of 10, she does know how to properly remove tubes, etc. This says the bars after what police are calling a fatal act of love or a step too far. One set, Sabrina Green, 54, is facing an aggravated manslaughter charge after she allegedly took her mother off life support using her own hands. According to the report, One Set's mom had been fighting for her life at North Shore Medical Center since May 5th. Dealing with serious breathing issues, her conditions got worse. She was moved to the ICU. That's when things took a heartbreaking turn. Witnesses say One Set gathered her people at the hospital, looked around and said, I'm pulling out. Then right there in the ICU, she reached over and removed her mother's breathing tube. Alarms started going off. Nurses rushed in, but Green allegedly told them not to interfere, saying she wanted her mother to go in peace. Her mother passed away shortly after. One Set has been a nurse since 2005 with no drama on her record, but now she's sitting in lockup waiting to face the courtroom. So let me just say that this You know how I feel about this bogus and unfair. Sorry, my dogs are responding to something outdoors. But you know how I feel about this bogus system. So let me explain this to you. The system is okay if her mother dies on their watch. The system is okay if her mother is on life support for 45 days in agony and pain. They will bill them afterwards. But if she decided that I don't want my mother to suffer anymore, all of a sudden it's a manslaughter charge. This is outrageous. This is coming from a system who doesn't care. Now, mind you, she's a 50-something-year-old woman. The woman was in ICU. She had her days numbered. She's on life support. This isn't some healthy woman who just got the plug pulled. And I don't believe that this woman, who they said she doesn't have any previous drama on her record for anything that she's done in nursing, and all of a sudden that you all want to put her behind bars, charge her with manslaughter. This is the type of unethical legal system that we deal with. The court should not, the hospital, the court, anyone should not have intervened. This doesn't even make sense. And, the reality is, too, when people are looking at their loved ones suffering, when people are looking at their loved ones in deep pain, I don't know if they're in their right mind. You go to one hospital, then you go to another hospital, then you go to the ICU, and it's consistent suffering. What do you do? But then you have to pretend to have deep conversation with people who don't care. You got to talk to nurses and doctors who really just waiting on your mama to die. I don't think that this is a fair situation. I don't think that it's a fair situation at all. And although I know that fairness is not the same as legal, I don't think that this is a legal situation. I think it's a very, very thin line. But let me just tell you something too about nurses. When you're Black in America and you go into hospitals, people are they're very observant to you. They're trying to figure out who gave you the audacity and the authority to take your mother off life support. Who told you you could do that? So although the nurses and everybody tried to go in an uproar about it, the reality is they don't really give a damn if her mother lives or if her mother dies. We know how the system works. But to go ahead and vilify this and turn it into a legal matter, it just really shows you that, this is why I don't like, integration and so many other things, is because we're constantly bound to their system, constantly being bound to a system that does not have your best interest at heart. This woman is a 54-year-old woman. She's a nurse. She's been a nurse over 20 years. That means she is a productive working member in society. She is watching her mother die. And you mean to tell me behind that, she gets to go to jail? She gets to go to prison as if she's been doing fraud for the last 30 years, as if she's, murdered strangers? Let me tell you all something. The white woman who was going around breaking the bones of babies. Do you hear me? Breaking the bones of babies. Do you think they put her in jail and charged her with manslaughter? She was documented for breaking the bones of Black babies. Do you hear me? I told you all this story. You've seen this story. She's out. She's out. This is why we can't afford to be in the same judicial system. We cannot have the same judicial branch. We can't have the same judicial construct as everybody else. This system is not fair. Anyways, I'm going to keep up with this story as best as I can. I'm hoping that something good come out of this for her. I hope that she's able to sustain, keep her license and everything else. She knew what she was doing as a nurse. I believe she knew that, the time had came. When you're a nurse for 20-some years, you've seen lots of people die. You've seen lots of people lose their life. You know. All right, so we're going to move on. All right, so this particular story I was very interested in because I live in Atlanta. You take a look at this right here. Take a look at this with me. I'm going to read this to you. Atlanta ranked top U.S. city in displacement of residents due to gentrification. Atlanta is no longer a majority Black city. Somebody put Black city. Somebody put Chocolate City in the chat. Put Chocolate City no more in the chat. Somebody put Chocolate City in the chat. Just put Chocolate City in the chat, guys. Put Chocolate City in the chat. I know y'all went to public school. It takes so long to get a word out of this chat. Am I like delayed by 7 minutes? Thank you, William. I really appreciate it. Anyways, also tomorrow I got a really good guest. You're going to love him. Dave the Bully is coming on the Madam President Morning Show, and it's going to be nothing but love. He's coming with the Black agenda. Yes, 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 yes. So let me just say this really quickly. Atlanta ranked top U.S. city in displacement of residents due to gentrification. Atlanta is no longer a majority Black city. So here's what it says. Atlanta has been ranked the top city in the U.S. for displacing Black residents through gentrification, according to new research from National Community Reinvestment Coalition. The report titled American Gentrification, Displacement in Black and White analyzed over 900 cities and found that while gentrification is a widespread issue, its impact on Black communities is especially severe in Atlanta. Between 2013 and 2023, more than 20,000 Black residents were forced out of Atlanta neighborhood due to rising property values, increased cost of living, and redevelopment that prioritize wealthier, often white newcomers. The study describes this process as being displacement by design, pointing to urban policies and development strategies that have systemically pushed out long-term Black residents. NCRC's analysis revealed that 68% of all residents displaced in Atlanta during that period were Black. This racial imbalance is especially stark given that Black people make up only about half the city's population. The report also noted that areas targeted for new investment often had long-standing Black communities, many of which were underfunded for years before redevelopment interest spiked. The displacement isn't just a housing issue. It affects the culture and social fabric of the city. Entire neighborhoods are losing their historical identity, and community ties are being broken as families are priced out and relocated. The findings from NCRC raise critical questions about who benefits from urban development and how cities can promote economic growth without displacing their most vulnerable populations. As cities like Atlanta continue to grow and attract investment, advocates are calling for more equitable housing policies, stabilization, and community-driven planning to ensure that progress doesn't come at the cost of pushing out long-term residents. Wow. I'm trying to keep myself calm because I'm really pissed off. What makes me pissed off about this is like my sister just said over here on Instagram, my sister Remax Strong, Yolanda, she just said it best. You have Black leaders in Atlanta. This is your city where you got Black leaders. You have Black business owners. You have a progressive Black environment. Why would you allow your senior citizens to be displaced, misplaced, etc.? That means that you don't care. You constantly going after the money, 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 money. I'm so annoyed by this because I live in Atlanta. I live in a gentrified community. And in the gentrified community, you see the different spaces where I remember having a neighbor. She was probably 80 plus years old. She was dying. And I remember talking to her, and she says, she said, I get a call every day about this house. She said, people constantly want to buy this house. She said, but I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to let my kids do what they want to do with it. She was like, if they want to sell it, let them sell it. Now, mind you, this woman has been owning her home probably for the last 40 years. She's close to 90. She was close to 90. She passed away. She was close to 90. That means that she been paid the 30-year mortgage. She probably paid, $40,000, $50,000 for the house. And the house is probably a $300,000 house, even on the lot at this point, just the lot itself. So the question is, what is the point of Black leadership if it's going to only benefit white progress? No, that's a genuine question. What will be the point of Black leadership if it's only going to progress white individuals, white corporations, white families? What would be the purpose to vote Black, to get Black folks in office, if when you're in office, you don't have any interest in the community in which needs your assistance? Here's the reality. You live in a predominantly Black neighborhood. People are elders. They are not going to get this substantial income just because you all put a Whole Foods down the street. They're not going to get a new job. They can't pay 3 times the amount in taxes because you all decide to fix up the place and they're in their 75 years old, 80 years old. That's not fair. So I think some of the solutions that some people have mentioned is, once you buy your house, do you have to keep paying taxes? You've paid the house off. This is robbery in hindsight. You pay your house off, you're paying taxes, and it's going up every three times. And the mayor, Kasim Reed, former mayor Kasim Reed, he gave so many Black senior citizens lives to the capacity that they refused to vote him back into office. It was a refusal. And I just would like to say, I'm not saying that Europe does anything better than Americans, by no means. But like I keep telling you, like I said before, when you go to Europe, some kind of way, they have a sense of preservation to old buildings. They hold on to their old churches. They hold on to, cathedral buildings that's been around for 300 plus years, 1,000 years. They have a sense of pride behind old neighborhoods. Why don't we? Why don't we? And I'm just going to go ahead and say it because, obviously, I like to push the envelope. I'm 100% politically incorrect. Dr. King house, I believe it was sold to the city, the state, national parks. But they don't even care about Dr. King's property. The floor and things had fallen in. Now, I will say this. It's okay if Dr. King's home floor falls in because it's old. It's very old and it just needs to be restored, right? So that's fine. Property can be restored. But here's my issue. If you ever go to Dr. King's home, the site where he grew up, crackheads and drunks steps away from Dr. King's legacy. I'm not playing. I'm not lying. It's not beautiful. It's a hard reality to take pictures at Dr. King's home where he grew up with his family and drug addicts, alcoholism just steps away. Well, I don't want you all to think that, I don't know. I don't have a joke for you. I can't want to end on a high note. But, all that to say, have you guys purchased my Kendrick Lamar t-shirts? I had a few people purchase their Kendrick Lamar tees. I was able to ship them off recently. I got some more that I'm shipping off today. The revolution will be televised. This is what I do. I am a creative. I do this. I write, I produce, create all types of things where my mind is constantly flowing. The revolution will be televised. These teas, I had ran a sale. I may run a Juneteenth sale or something like that as well on the site. Please don't forget to go to madampresident.com. We got really good things happening and thriving at madampresident.com. Sign up so you can know when I'm going live. Sign up so you can know when I'm teaching class on Saturdays. Sign up so you can know when I'm giving out free stuff. Go and sign up. If you're a person who's going to tap into your business, get into your business bag this year, let me work with you directly and assist you in the capacity that it works. I've done a lot. I've had a t-shirt company. We grow six figures inside of the Village Market, inside of a place. I know how to use different places like Canva as well as Upwork, hire people, design concepts, be the person that designed the concepts for your family reunion, etc. I want to see us win. I'm working daily, consistently to win, to be advanced. I don't want to talk about Joe Biden, but let's just say that if Joe Biden has cancer, God bless him and his family, of course, because we don't want to take on the attitude of, having cancer and blah, blah, blah. But I will say it really shows you that he was sick all along and they wasn't being transparent and honest about that, which is very interesting. So all that to say, you should be on madampresident.com. You should be signing up. You should go get my book, Matters of the Heart. I want your email, I want your text, I want all of that. You know, I won't bug you too much, but I want to be able to send things out to you. So please, sign up at madampresident.com so we can stay connected. Other than that, I will see you all tomorrow for sure, because what's tomorrow? Oh yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. I'll be with Dave the Bully. And on Thursday, I have a filmmaker. His name is Egypt. He's gonna come. He got a dope film that is for the people. I want you all to check it out. So on Wednesday, tomorrow, and Thursday, we have special guests. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Have a good day.